So good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me from your end. If you can hear me from your end, let me know in the comment section. Just say you can hear me, and I will see it from the comment section. So thank you for joining us once again for the second day of the Peace Education Training. It's a free 5 days training on peace education, and we are expected to cover a lot. We started yesterday, and we are going to continue today. So if you are joining us, you make a comment so that we know that you have joined. Yesterday, several of you joined, and we're able to also take down the names of those who joined. And today, we are also going to monitor to see that those that have joined yesterday join today again. And that we give you a pass mark to show that, okay, you are participating in the training, and you are not just going to get a certificate in vain, and you are going to get a certificate that will benefit you at the end of the day. So, like I said yesterday, you need to comment so that we take your attendance. That is, by commenting, we are taking your attendance by your comment, because you comment and then it shows your name. So we are going to take your details for your certification. That is number one. Number two is that if you join, try to share the live on your wall or on your timeline so that others can also see it, because we have plans to introduce another free training shortly after this one on diversity management. You know, we live in a diverse society, so it's good that we also train people on diversity to learn how to interact with people. So we are planning to introduce another training. So it's good that you share so that people will know what's happening here, so that they can also stand a chance to benefit, learn, and make our society peaceful. So my name once again is Ambassador Tahuli Joshua. I am the registrar of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, and on behalf of the Governing Council and the management team of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, I wish to welcome you once again for the second day of the training on peace education. So, like I said, if you join us, just do us a favor, share it on your wall, and so that others will know what is going on. And apart from that, you also comment. So that we will know that you have joined again for today. So thank you very much for joining us once again. So yesterday we were able to look at some of the things that we're going to cover in the training. We said that this training peace education cannot be exhausted in 5 days. We have a lot of things that we need to cover. The course is divided into 6 modules. Maybe we'll cover maybe 3 or 4 for this training for you to be qualified to receive certificate. But at the end of the training, if you wish to register for the course and have the full training in the course, it's still possible. And then we can give you a professional diploma or a professional postgraduate diploma, what we call advanced diploma. And then, but if you wish to, at the end of the training, we'll also give you the soft copy of the manual at the end of the training. That is what we're going to also do for you. Okay, now I'll just rattle through the modules for those of you that didn't join on time yesterday, so that you know what is covered in this particular course. So I'm going to rattle through the modules. I will not go through the introduction again. I'll just go through the modules so that you know what is covered in each of the modules. So yesterday we were able to treat module 1, and we're looking at we look at the foundations of peace education. We also look at the theories of peace education, and we look at some of the aspects of the theories of peace. So we'll be looking at the role of education in promoting peace and conflict resolution. So that's what we'll be looking at today. So I hope that you people are going to follow us. And then also, it's part of what we'll cover in module 1. So in module 2, we are going to look at conflict resolution strategies, mediation and peace building, and then we'll also look at human rights, education, and global citizenship. All right. So in module 3, we are going to look at non-violence communication and conflict transformation. We are also going to look at non-violent communication, conflict transformation, youth engagement, and peace education. This is what we're going to cover in module 3. In module 4, we are going to look at peace education curriculum development. Okay, we need to develop a curriculum for peace education. And then we'll be looking at curriculum design for peace education. We'll be looking at implementing peace education programs. We'll look at best practices in peace education. So this is what we're going to cover in module 4. We're also going to look at peace building initiatives and global peace in module 5. So in this case, we're going to cover peace building efforts, sustainable development, and peace, and global peace and conflict resolution. So these are the things that we're going to cover in this module 5. And then in module 6, what is covered is advanced topics in peace education. So here we'll be looking at peace education research and advocacy. We'll be looking at technology and peace education, and we'll also be looking at peace education in practice. Okay, we'll look at what happens in peace education, how practically are we going to carry out peace education. Maybe some of these things we may not cover up to this extent, but we hope that if you are interested in having a full training on peace education, you can register for it. And if we discover that you are participating in this training, we can decide to give you a discount so that you can have full training in peace education. And then you'll be able to have a professional diploma or a professional postgraduate diploma in the area. So let's go straight to where we stopped yesterday. All right, we stopped at theories of peace, and we were able to look at non-violence yesterday. So we also look at conflict transformation. We look at negative peace and positive peace. Someone was asking what's the difference between negative peace and relative peace, and there's nothing much difference. It's just that we say that the difference is that, in fact, it's just aspect of relative peace is an aspect of negative peace. There's nothing different there. But what relative peace means is that after a certain long period of time, there's no war, there's no major crisis. Do you understand? So that is the aspect of still negative peace. So it's still part of negative peace. So there's nothing much different. Then let's look at, so today I want us to look at, we'll look at the role of education in promoting peace and conflict resolution. This is what we're going to look at. So we said that education plays a crucial role in promoting peace and conflict resolution by fostering understanding, empathy, critical thinking, and skills necessary for peace, peaceful coexistence. So let's look at some of the things that peace or education help us to achieve in terms of promoting peace and conflict resolution. One is promoting intercultural understanding. Education exposes individuals to diverse perspectives, cultures, and worldviews. All right. For instance, now if you go to the university, you have the privilege of interacting with different people from secondary, primary school. You know, you have the opportunity to interact with different levels from different people from different tribes, different cultural backgrounds. So this exposes you to know people different and their level of thinking and what they believe in. Are you getting the point? So peace education, or education rather, give you the opportunity to understand people differently. And then we'll talk about teaching conflict resolution skills. Education equips individuals with the knowledge, skills, and attitude needed to resolve conflict peacefully. And that's why you are here today. What you are doing here simply now is part of the education. You are trying to get skills on how you can resolve conflict. And that's what education helps you to do. Without education, you know, somebody that is not educated, an ignorant person is always, you know, aggressive. You understand? But somebody that is enlightened, there's a way he behaves. there's a way he conducts himself. Do you understand? So that's the difference. That's the difference. And so it's clear that when you are educated, your level of behavior is different, and how you handle issues also is different. And that's why you are here also, to acquire the education. So education also helps in fostering critical thinking. You don't think sharply as an educated person. You ask critical questions. You ask questions thoroughly to have a deeper understanding of what you are doing per time. Do you understand? So that's what education helps you to do. Then education also helps to build social and emotional skills. Education plays a role in developing social and emotional skills such as empathy, cooperation, communication, all right, and then emotional intelligence, right? So that's what education helps you to do. It helps to develop your social and emotional skills. You have to control your emotions. Sometimes you get angry, but there's a way you behave as an educated person. But an ignorant person does not care. He doesn't care about his self-respect. He doesn't care about his image. He behaves anyhow. But as an educated person, there's a way, a manner you respond, you react to issues. Do you understand? There's no level. It doesn't matter the level of provocation. There's a level you respond and react to issues. All right. So, promoting human rights and social justice. Education empowers individuals to know their rights and speak for their rights, and promote and advance the rights of others as well. That's what education does. Education also encourages people to dialogue and reach reconciliation, all right? Because one of the things that education helps you to do is that it gives you the ability to be able to communicate effectively and dialogue and interact in a cultural manner. Do you understand? That help you to respond and reach reconciliation even in times of dispute. That's what education helps you to achieve, all right? So education plays vital role to make sure that we acquire the necessary skills that can help us to succeed in our lives, in our endeavors, in every area of our lives. Education also empowers the youth. All right, for a young person, majority of you that have joined this training are young people, and education, this kind of education is going to empower you with the skills. Young people are so energetic, they are so aggressive, all right, because they are the strength of the society. Now, it's good that we see young people joining this training, and that means that they will acquire the necessary skills that will help them to think positively towards the society. Young people that will not go and carry arms. Young people that will not go and carry, weapons to go and steal, be kidnappers. That's what it means. So this training will empower you to think positively, not to think negatively towards one another. Then promoting global citizenship, like we said yesterday, gives you opportunity to live and stay anywhere in the world without being afraid of anything. That's what education does. Okay, it empowers you. Once you are educated, you can travel to any part of the world and interact and live and do whatever you want to do and come back. Do you understand? And even if you decide to change citizenship, you can change and then become a citizen of another country on the basis of your educational abilities. But somebody that is ignorant cannot be able to do this thing. So we are going into Unit 3 of Module 1. So we are going to look at the root causes of conflict. That's what we're going to cover in Unit 3. Root causes of conflict. If you are just joining us, help us to just share this live so that others can also see what's going on, so that they can stand a chance to benefit in our next free training. And then you yourself also make a comment in the comment section so that we know that you have joined even today as well. It's one of the conditions to fulfill that you can be qualified to receive this certification. So social, economic, and political factors contributing to conflicts. There are factors that contribute to every conflict we see around. And that factor can be social, it can be economical, it can be political, all right? So let's look at how these factors that we have mentioned here contribute to conflict, all right? One, let's look at social factors, how they contribute to conflict in our society. What are the social factors that I'm talking about here? Let's look at identity and ethnicity. Identity, one of the social factors that contribute to conflict is identity and ethnicity. All right, all of us come from somewhere. We have our identities, we have our ethnic groups where we belong. Do you understand? We have racist issues here and there. Do you understand? So differences in culture, language, religion, or ethnicity can create tensions and lead to conflict. For us in this country, for instance, in Nigeria, for instance, now we are in a diverse society where we have several cultural backgrounds. We have so many tribes. We have different languages. Do you understand? In this country called Nigeria, and in most times we see how, in most cases, we see how these factors that I'm talking about here influences conflict. Misunderstanding in terms of communication generate a lot of problems. Religious issue, we have been seeing conflict that are religiously inclined. Do you understand? So this kind of conflict, we have been seeing them around, and they have been happening in our environment here. So conflict is through social factors can be as a result of identity and ethnicity. Where you belong. I am a Christian, you are a Muslim. Is a reason why it's enough for us to have conflict once there's a slightest misunderstanding. Do you understand? I am from, I'm a Igbo man, I'm a Hausa man. It's the reason why I should call you Aboki, and then it's the reason why you should call me Nyamri. Do you understand? All these things are identity terms that we use to distinguish people, and then, you know, become a subject of conflict. Do you understand? We have been having this issue with us here, and then other people also being marginalized based on their identity. Do you understand? Where you come from. For us, we have tribes that we consider in Nigeria as major tribes, and then there are ones that we consider as minority tribes. So if you come from a minority tribes, as if you don't have a stake in our nation. Even in the civil service, people suffer from because of where they come from. Because major tribes dominate in the civil service, they dominate everywhere. So it's as if they advance the cause of their people against the others. Do you understand? So these things are in our system. Okay, so but peace education is going to help you to know that it doesn't matter whether somebody comes from a minority tribe. It doesn't matter where somebody comes from. Whatever matters is that this person merited this particular opportunity, and the person should be given the opportunity. So as a result, if we are not doing things based on favoritism, ethnicity, sectionalism, then there will be harmony in our system. There will be peace in our system. There will be justice. Do you understand? But where people just do things based on sectionalism, ethnicity, or religion, these things create tensions and they lead to conflict. Then we talk about social inequality and disparities in wealth. You know, in our environment here, we have people that are rich and are getting richer, and then the poor are getting poorer. And then when the poor doesn't know what to do, they take to arm to get their and then create every means of livelihoods that they can get. Some people take to prostitution just to earn a living. Do you understand? And this thing can cause conflict. Do you understand? When people don't have a means of livelihood, and or when there's no equitable distribution of resources and opportunities, what happens? There's tension, people protest, and it leads to conflict. Do you understand? This is what happened in our society. And then we'll talk about tribalism and group dynamics. All right, tribalism and group dynamics. Like I have said, there are times that we, even in our nation, people say that a certain tribe cannot contest for presidency. Why should we are citizens of this country, and everybody should stand a chance to contest for the presidency if he or she qualifies. So it shouldn't be given on religion. It shouldn't be on the basis of tribe. All right. Yes, we can consider based on political operations. We may consider aspect of zoning, but if that is being zoned, then let everybody stand a chance to qualify to contest, and let him be able to galvanize and win the heart of the people, the electorate, to vote for him. Not for us to decide to say that this particular tribe cannot be elected or whatever. So this kind of talks, this kind of versions of discussion in our politics, sometimes generates crisis. And this is a social factor, tribalism and group dynamics. All right, they affect us. They affect us so tremendously, and it causes conflict, it causes tension. And you and I can agree with me, in the 2023 election, you see how tensions the election was. Do you understand? As a result of these factors that I have mentioned here. Let's look at the economic factors. Economic factors, we are talking about resource scarcity. The fact is that there's limited resources. Okay, man has unlimited wants or needs, but there are limited resources. We don't have resources that can cover all of us. So it is the judicious application of resources that make them enough. But we have been wasting resources in our nation here. All right. And so as a result, there's competition. Everybody wants to get something. And in times of this competition, there's bound to be crisis. Do you understand? Then we'll talk about economic inequalities, disparity in income and wealth that create tensions within societies. Okay, look at it now. I was going through one video where a National Assembly member was outlines his earning. Talk about his salary, 2.5 million per month. Talk about his housing allowance, 4 point something million per month. Talk about his recess allowance. Talk about his PA allowances. Talk about his wardrobe allowances, and all of this was amounting to 200 and something million per month, per year. Do you understand? 200 and something million per year. And then, okay, look at the civil servant now. We're talking about minimum wage of 62,000. They say they cannot be able to pay. Do you understand? They say 100,000. Say they cannot be able to pay. Do you understand? So what are we saying here? So this kind of disparities in income can also cause tension in our society. Do you understand? And then we talk about economic downtowns, economic crisis, unemployment. We can look at the high level of unemployment we have in our system here. So if somebody, they say that an empty mind is what? A devil's workshop. When a mind is not occupied, that mind can do anything. It render people into depression, and then some into conflict, some into becoming kidnappers, some into becoming criminals. Do you understand? That's what unemployment causes in our society. So poverty and lack of economic opportunities can increase social instability and contribute to conflict. And this is what is happening in our nation here. Do you understand? So it's very, very important that we look at these kind of factors and try to address them. So if you are in a position tomorrow that you have to create a policy, you have to create opportunities, you have to distribute resources. We have a Federal Character Commission that's supposed to distribute our opportunities, equitably, but that has not been happening over the years. Do you understand? So, but if you happen to be in a place of authority tomorrow, as a graduate or as a participant in this training, what will you do differently to make sure that these factors that we have mentioned here have addressed? Let's look at political factors. Talk about authoritarianism and governance issues. We have been having governance issues in our country. Bad governance has been the order of the day. Do you understand? Whereby money budgeted for things doesn't go for things that they are budgeted for. All right. So, and then there are issues of abuse of human rights. There are issues of corruption. Ineffective governance has been the order of the day. And this is what we have been facing here. And because of the inability of the political leadership to provide the desired and the needed development, this is causing tension in our society. People are languishing. Poverty is on the increase. All right, many people, majority people, about over 120 million Nigerians cannot afford, a 3 square meal a day. Some cannot even afford one. They wake up so hopeless. Do you understand? They are living below $1, which is an international standard to measure that we are out of poverty. Many people, majority, about 130 million Nigerians are living below the poverty line. So that's a problem, and this can cause problems. Also, we have ideological differences. Although in our system here, we have parties that have ideologies that are only on paper. The ideologies are not, demonstrated. Unlike we have in the other climes, like in America, in the UK, where we have the liberals, we have the Democrats, the conservatives. Do you understand? And then they have the ideologies that they follow. But in our system here, we don't have. A party will say, the political party will go its name, Social Democratic Party, but there's nothing social about it. Do you understand? There's nothing. Some of them call them all progressive Congress. All progressive, all progressive. But what we are seeing has been retrogression. There's nothing progressing. Do you understand? So these are the issues. So if you say you are a progressive party, then let's see development. Let's see progress, not retrogression. They have been taking us back. They have been taking us back. Do you understand? So some people say their own is a power to the people, power to the people. But we have not been seeing the people controlling the power. Rather, the politicians who are the few that are elected have been taking the power. Then the issue of power struggles. You know, everybody wants to be in authority. Even in our local organizations, people want to be in authority. People want to be in position. People want to occupy a position of recognition. Do you understand? When this is in place, what you expect, the next thing is conflict. Okay, what you are going to say next? Okay, look at the 2020 election. There was no conflict. There was conflict everywhere, tension everywhere. They balkanized the election, turn it into religious election, turn it into sectionalism, turn it into tribalism, turn it into all manner of factors. Do you understand? And this causes tension simply because certain individuals want to occupy power. So the struggle for power creates conflict. Whenever you decide to take up opportunity in your organization as a position of leadership or in your local community, whenever you decide to contest for any election, know and somebody's contesting with you, know that conflict is bound to happen. Do you understand? So that's what happened. So these factors contribute to conflict and it causes conflict. Remember, we are looking at the causes, the root causes of conflict. That's what we're looking at. And so we talk about the social, we talk about the economic, we talk about the political factors that contribute to conflict. Let's move forward to look at other factors that contribute to conflict. We are looking at identity-based conflict and their impact. Let's look at the identity-based and conflict and their impact. Identity-based conflicts. When we say identity-based conflicts, what are we talking about? This refers to conflicts that are rooted in differences related to identity, which we have discussed, such as ethnicity, religion, language, nationality, or culture. Okay, these conflicts often involve groups that perceive themselves as distinct based on their identity, characteristics, and can have significant impact on individuals, communities, and societies. Now, okay, let's take for instance now, in our nation here, if you see a Muslim person, automatically you'll be able to distinguish that this is a Muslim person. Do you understand? If you see a Christian, you'll be able to distinguish that this is a Christian person. And if you happen to find yourself in the north, you discover that you are automatically, you are identified. It doesn't need any explanation by the way you appear. Your identity, your language alone betrays you. You are completely identified. Okay, so if there's any matter, you don't have any escape. Do you understand? Then talk about when a northerner goes to the south, automatically you cannot be invisible. You are clearly identified. You are clearly distinguished from others. Do you understand? By the way you dress, that's your cultural lifestyle, with your language, or rather the way you communicate already have set you aside from the locals. Do you understand? So this kind of things, contributes to conflict. Do you understand? Because somebody easily become a target. It's not part of us. When you have a little disagreement, it turns to something else. Do you understand? So one have to be very, very careful when he finds himself in an environment whereby he thinks that it's not his own. Do you understand? So this is what it means. So identity-based conflict, right? That's what we're talking about here. But if we go to other environment, let's take for instance like America, for instance, or the UK. So even if you see a Muslim person there, it will take you time to know that this person is a Muslim person. Do you understand? Everybody's equal. Everybody's just flowing together like that. Do you understand? It takes time for you to identify that this is a Muslim person, this is a Christian person. It takes time because of the way they are dressed. Do you understand? So in that kind of situation, it will be very, very difficult for conflict to happen based on identity issue. The only challenge we have in those environments is the racial issues, which is the issue of color. This is also another identity. Do you understand? Where the blacks and the white are always having problems. So that's where the problem is. Do you understand? But what are the impacts of identity-based conflicts? Let's look at the impacts of this identity-based conflict. Conflict that come from identity-based issues. What are the impacts? Let's look at them. One is violence and human rights abuses. Violence and what? Human rights abuses. Identity-based conflict can escalate into violence, including acts of discrimination, persecution. That is, you are persecuted based on where you came from. That is, you are denied job opportunities simply because of where you come from. Do you understand? Yes, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim is enough reason why you cannot get a job if the person is a Christian, or if the person is a Muslim, it's enough reason why a Christian cannot get a job. Do you understand? So this kind of discrimination, and then maybe in a court, maybe because you are a Muslim and a Christian is a judge, then you cannot get the justice you deserve simply because of where you come from or your belief system. Do you understand? So this kind of persecution goes on. The ethnic cleansing, all right? Ethnic cleansing also another thing. So because you are from a particular tribe, it's enough reason why you should be killed or you should not have an opportunity. Look at what happened in the 1994 in Rwanda. The Hutus clearly were targeting the Tutsis. Do you understand? And they were clean. They were cleaned. They were clean. It was a total cleansing. Do you understand? So this is what we're talking about here. So your identity, your color, this kind of conflict turns into violent conflict. Let me, if sometimes on the religious basis, if you are maybe you are in the north, for instance, now, and there's a misunderstanding between a Christian and a Muslim, sometimes you find it difficult to control it. Do you understand? Because it's look as if it's a religious matter, and sometimes it's not a religious matter. But because these people have different identities, then they begin to look at things differently. Then it becomes a problem. Do you understand? The same thing in the South. Do you understand? So these are the issues. So let's proceed. Let's look at some of the impacts. So violence and human rights abuse is one of the impact of what identity-based conflicts. Then we look at social fragmentation and polarization. All right. That identity-based conflicts can deepen existing divisions within societies, like we have in our country here, like Nigeria, for instance. All right. Like I said, it's easy for you to identify who is a northerner, who is a southerner, whose tribe you come from, by the way you speak, all right, by the way you dress, all right. So this thing deepens our divisions, and I'm not sure we are doing anything to do away with this. We want to maintain our cultural identities. We want to maintain our lifestyles. All right. So this is what's happening. So now we talk about displacement and refugees. Identity-based conflicts also result in forced displacement of populations, with individuals and communities being uprooted from their homes and becoming refugees. We have so many refugees everywhere now, right? Because some ideologies that came into play, and then people were killed, some were displaced, and then they are into camps now, taking refugees or taking refuge there. Then we have economic impacts. Identity-based conflict can have negative economic consequences, including disruptions to trade and economic activities, disruption of infrastructure, loss of livelihoods, and reduced investment and development opportunities in conflict affected. And for those of us that are in the north, you know what is happening here. You understand? So when the Boko Haram activity was going on, you cannot travel to the north, to that part of the northeast. Do you understand? Because conflict on the issue of certain belief system. Do you understand? And then the killing, the disruption of the economic activities. The educational system was disrupted, infrastructural development was halted. Do you understand? It's now that they are trying to do what we call reconstruction. Do you understand? After conflict. So these are the issues that we're talking about here. So, you know, Identity-based conflicts can have this devastating impact on the citizen. Let's look at psychological trauma. I can tell you for sure that those children whose parents are killed as a result of Boko Haram activities, they cannot get out. In fact, they will need a serious rehabilitation for them to get out of the traumatic situation they have found themselves. People whose home were destroyed, that you have built a house, some of them retired school servants, managed to build a house, and then conflict destroyed. They can never recover from it. Can they recover? They are going through trauma. Some of them cannot even survive it. The thought of I am a destitute now, I don't have a house, alone is enough to kill them. Psychological trauma, anxiety, stress, depression kill faster than any other thing. And these are the impacts of what identity-based conflict. Let's talk about the political instability. Identity-based conflict can undermine political stability and governance, erode trust in institutions, and hinder effort to build inclusive and democratic societies. Let me tell you that sometimes if you have a police case, and maybe let's say a Christian is having that case and you are a Muslim, it's as if you don't have an escape route. And maybe the case you are having is against a Christian. Do you understand? So it's as if the Christian automatically is going to back a Christian. So this kind of activities elude trust in our institutions. You have a case that you need to take it to court, but you don't want to go to court. Why? Because maybe the highest bidder will take it. Do you understand? And this thing causes political instability. Our political system and our politicians, most of the times, they use religion as a tool to get to position of authority in our country. Do you understand? These are the issues. If they don't have anything that will make us to disagree and fight, they bring religion. They bring tribalism. They bring sectionalism. And then all of this contribute to what? And these are the identity-based issues that I'm talking about. And this contribute to what? Conflict, political instability. And a critical example is the 2020 election. It was a problem. Identity-based issues were clearly visible. Some of us, maybe in this class, participated in those things. Yes, it's possible that some of you here influenced some of the things that happened during the 2023 election. But thank God that you have joined this training so that you can learn and know that what you are doing is causing conflict in our society. And then you should stop if you were once part of it. Going forward now, if somebody asks you to go and cause trouble, I'm not going. Somebody asks you to go and promote religion, I am not going. Somebody asks you to go and promote ethnicity, I am not going. Do you understand? Promote citizenship. We are all citizens of Nigeria. Promote oneness, promote unity, promote progress, promote peace, promote love, promote justice. That's what we should be promoting, not our division, not our identity. Do you understand? So this is what we should be doing. So we have talked about identity-based conflicts. They are also part of the factors that contribute to conflict. Let's look at the environmental and resource conflict. Environmental and resource conflict. Environmental and resource conflicts arise when there are disputes over access to, control of, or use of natural resources, or when environmental issues leads to tension between different groups or stakeholders. Do you understand? So now let's talk about the Niger Delta region, where we have oil, all right? And then this has been source of conflict, right? We had the issue of the militant groups in the Niger Delta. During the Yar'Adua administration, Yar'Adua was able to create an amnesty program. And that amnesty program was able to withdraw some of them from those negative activities, and they were sent to the university. Many of them that are graduating, you ask them to go and be a militant now, they will not go. Okay? they are living and fulfilling their lives on the basis of education. This is what we're talking about, education. So what are the causes of environmental and resource conflict? What are the causes of environmental and resource conflict? Competition over scarce resources. All right, when the resources are not enough, people compete over them, and then what happens? Let me give you an instance. In a place whereby there's not enough land, where there's scarcity of land for people to be able to build houses, to farm, what do you expect? You see people fighting over land, piece of land. Some fight and destroy themselves. All right, we see such kind of issues in places like Benue. You see them, and most of the Igbo people also, you see these things happening. You understand? Fight over land. All right, over land issues. So scarce resources can also lead to conflicts. Environmental degradation. Environmental degradation can also cause conflict. Degradation of natural resources, pollution, deforestation, where there's desertification and there's drought. Okay, for instance, now the people in the north are herders, all right? And so when they don't have grasses to feed their animals, when they don't have water to give their animals, which as a result of desertification, okay, they move to where they can get glasses. They can also get water for their animals. So what do you expect as they are moving now? That's what we're having herder farmers crisis in the North Central, because these people have to move and feed their animals. They have to also find water to give their animals. But as they are moving, maybe animals stray and enter somebody's farm and eat something, eat crops, and then it generates tension, it creates conflict. These are the things that we're suffering in our nation now, in the Middle Belt or in the North Central. Do you understand? So let's look at land dispute. I have mentioned it. We have seen places where people fight over land because of the scarcity of lands. Then we'll talk about infrastructural development. Where infrastructural development or developmental projects have not been, equitably distributed, it also causes conflict. All right, it causes conflict. So these are some of the environmental conflicts that we have. So all of these factors contribute to conflicts in our society. All right, all of these contribute to conflicts in our society. What are the impacts of environmental and resource conflict? Displacement and livelihood disruption. If you go to the North Central, many people leave their farmland because of the fear of herders' attack. They have to go and hide somewhere. Do you understand? They are no longer in their houses. You go to Zamfara, it's the same thing. People are running away from their ancestral home because of the fight and the militia activities in the Zamfara, in the northwest. Do you understand? So this thing over the issue of gold mining. Do you understand? Scarce resources. The economic losses. Economic conflict over natural resources can result in economic losses. All right. Okay, look at Niger Delta, for instance, now. So many pipelines were destroyed because of theft, oil theft. Do you understand? Because these guys have to get it. And some of them just intentionally destroy some of the vessels just to express their anger. Do you understand? And displeasure. So these are the things that happen. So social tensions and violence is palpable. You can feel it. You can see it happening. Do you understand? So environmental conflicts exacerbate social tension, heighten intergroup rivalries, and escalate into violence, leading to human rights abuses, injuries, and loss of lives. Right. So this is what happens. This is the impact of environmental conflicts. So if you are just joining us, like we have said, make a comment so that we know that you have joined this training. And apart from that, you also share this thing on your wall so that I can get to other people so that we know that we have this kind of training going on, because we are planning to initiate another free training on diversity management as soon as possible. So just share so that others can also see, so that next time they will take advantage of this. So let's go into module 2. Okay, let's go into module 2. And in module 2, we are going to look at conflict resolution and mediation. This is what we're going to look at in module 2 of this course. So by way of recap, we are able to look at module 1, which was our introduction to peace education and we look at several topics bordering on so many issues, right? The importance of education and the role education plays in promoting peace and conflict resolution. And so we have seen several of things that we have covered, and I hope that you people are following up and you are understanding. So, but if you have any question, you can put it in the comment section. Yesterday I was not able to take questions, but today I'll be able to take some questions. So if you have any question, ask, and then at the end of the training, I'll be able to take some of your questions. I hope you are with me. All right, let's progress. So we're going to look at module 2. In module 2, we're looking at conflict resolution strategies. All right, that's unit 1, conflict resolution strategies. But first and foremost, let's have an understanding of what conflict resolution is all about. Conflict resolution refers to the process of addressing and resolving disputes or disagreements between individuals or groups in a constructive and peaceful manner. That is, you have a difference, you have a disagreement, you have an argument. I want to resolve this argument. You don't resolve conflict with conflict. All right? You want to resolve conflict, it must be constructive and it must be peaceful. All right, so effective conflict resolution techniques help parties involved in conflict reach a mutually acceptable solution and maintain positive relationship. Right? So, what are the principles and strategies that you can put in place to resolve conflicts? First and foremost, you need to identify the root cause of the conflict. Now we have discussed the root causes of conflict. Now, if you want to resolve conflict, first and foremost, identify the root cause of that conflict. Is it a social-based conflict? Is it an identity-based conflict? Is it an environmentally based conflict? Do you understand? You must find out, is it a political conflict? Do you understand? So once you are able to identify the root cause of that problem, of that conflict, then you can be able to take steps to resolve the conflict. All right. Number 2, maintain calmness and emotional control. When you are making effort to resolve conflict, you have to maintain calmness. You have to control your emotions. Some of you are trying to resolve your difference, but you are crying. Husband and wife, you are trying to resolve your conflict, but you are crying. Control your emotions. Do you understand? Control your emotions. Don't be too emotional. If you are too emotional, you lack the ability to express yourself freely. You will lack the ability to communicate effectively. And then you should also not be too aggressive when you are trying to resolve conflict. If you are aggressive, you will not be able to communicate effectively. And of course, you'll be misunderstood. You can agree with me that most of the decisions we take when we are angry are wrong decisions. Do you understand? So you have to maintain calmness, all right? And control your emotions. Don't be too emotional. Don't be too emotional. So let's look at another strategy and principles to resolve your conflict. Another principle and strategy to resolve conflict is listen actively. One of the keys of conflict resolution, one of the basic keys in conflict resolution is ability to listen actively. If you cannot listen, and when it comes to listening, it means that you have to listen wholly. What I mean is that when it comes to listening, you don't just listen based on what the person is saying, but there's what we call body language in conflict resolution. Somebody is saying something by his mouth, but the gesture is something different. The eye contact is something else. Do you understand? The posture is something else. It's telling you something else. So, and that's why you should pay attention. If you do not pay attention, you will not be able to discover what I'm talking about. Do you understand? So when you are making effort to resolve conflict, listen and listen carefully. Your inability to listen attentively will help you will miss the point of concentration, and then you'll not be able to get the conflict to resolve. Do you understand? So let's look at another strategy that you are going to put in place. So one of the basic skills you need to have is ability to listen carefully. And then we have express yourself clearly and respectfully. Don't talk down on anybody. Don't talk down on anybody to drive your point home. No, you will not be able to resolve such conflict. One way you can be able to resolve conflict is ability to express yourself, express your feeling. That's why you should not be emotional. Try to control your emotions so that you can be able to express yourself freely, okay? And then also in a respectful manner, because you are trying to resolve conflict. I have a difference with you over a matter, sir. I want us to make effort to resolve this our problem. And this is this and this is that. I'm not feeling too bad. Yes, I know I was angry, but I know that we can resolve our problems. Do you understand? So you shouldn't, in a respectful manner. You cannot come to resolve conflict with arrogance. If you come with ego and then arrogance in conflict resolution, you'll not be able to resolve the conflict. So let's look at explore solution together. That is another strategy, is that whenever there's a solution, you both should put heads together and look at the solution critically. Does the solution meet what you are looking at? Can it provide the options you have, the alternatives you have? Can it serve for what you are trying to resolve? Then we have use of mediation and facilitation. You can decide to use facilitation strategies or mediation. You can try to even get a third party to help you to resolve the conflict, to help you, to guide you, to facilitate on how you resolve the conflict. Do you understand? So focus on interest, not position. When you want to resolve conflicts, focus on the interest, not the position. All right? Instead of focusing on rights, position, identify the underlying interests, needs, and goals of all parties involved. So don't look at your right, don't look at your position, just look at what is the issue? What are we looking at here? What is the point of interest? So it's very important. What is the point? What's the bone of contention? This is what we are looking at, not the position. All right. Then brainstorm options. Brainstorm options. Reason together. Bring your own idea. I'll bring my own idea. If it's a group conflict, let all the groups bring their ideas and let's look at it together. Brainstorm together. Ask serious questions. All right. And then proper solutions. Some of the solutions may be long-term, some may be short-term solutions. And then reach a win-win solution. In conflict resolution, we always try to make sure that we reach a point of compromise whereby everybody can go home smiling. It's only in the court of law that you have a biased judgment, all right, where there's a winner and a loser. But in conflict resolution, whereby we are using alternative dispute resolution, that is ADR, we expect that at the end of the day, everybody should go home smiling. Do you understand? Everybody should go home smiling. Everybody should win to some extent, even if the winning is not equally, but everybody should win to some extent. So follow up and reflect. Follow up and what? Reflect. Once you reach options, you reach agreement, and then design a plan, follow up to make sure that the plan has been implemented and all the options have been also what? Implemented. So that's how to resolve conflict. That's how to resolve conflict. So let's look at the methods for resolving conflict peacefully. What are the methods that you are going to deploy to resolve conflict peacefully? One of the methods you can use to resolve conflict peacefully is effective communication. In conflict resolution, you must communicate effectively. Express yourself freely. Don't be highly emotional. All right? You should be able to control your emotions so that you can express yourself freely. That's one of the methods that you can use. Then empathy and understanding. Empathy and what? Understanding. Try to understand the other person's point of view. It shouldn't be just about you, about you, about you. You know, there are some people that when even husband and wife, even couples, when they want to resolve issues, just one person is just talking about me, myself, and this. Do you understand? So it's not just about you. Try to understand somebody else's perspective. Where is this person coming from? Okay, where am I coming from? And what is our point of convergence? Where are we agreeing? Where is our agreement? So this is where you should be targeting. So show empathy, show understanding. Do you understand? And then compromise and collaboration. Where possible, show compromise. All right. Try to adjust position, shift the base. Don't just stand and resist every option that is possible. You see, one of the reasons why the conflict between Palestine or the Hamas and Israel is still ongoing is because nobody is willing to adjust position. Everybody wants to maintain the position they claim. Do you understand? So this is elongating what the conflict. Everybody wants to like maintain their position, and that's why the conflict is still ongoing. But when we are able to adjust position and compromise, then we reach a place of agreement and conflict is being resolved. Active listening. Another way to method to resolve conflict effectively, like we said before, active listening is very, very important. Listen carefully, listen attentively. Seek mediation, seek a third-party intervention where possible. Where you cannot be able to resolve your conflict by yourselves, seek a third-party intervention. That's why you see conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Many countries have made an attempt to intervene. These are the people who call mediators. A country can be a mediator, an individual can be a mediator. Do you understand? An institution like ours can also mediate. Do you understand? It's not just an individual. So you are representing, you are going there not in your name as a person, but you are going as an institution to mediate. You are going there as a country to mediate. Do you understand? Where possible. The conflict between Palestine and the Hamas now, or Israel and the Hamas now, Qatar is going to make effort to mediate. Do you understand? As a neutral party, as a country. So take a break. If emotions are running high, if we are trying to make effort to resolve conflict, like maybe even couples trying to resolve their differences and the emotions are very high, that attention cannot be paid to issues discussed, what do? Take a break. Take a break. It's okay to take a break from the discussion to cool off and regain perspective, so that you can be able to think very well and communicate very well. Because one of the things that you need to do is to communicate effectively. And when the emotions are high, you cannot be able to communicate effectively, right? So it's good that you take a break. Just walk around. One thing I learned from my parents was that, if my mom is just giving my father so much headache, my father would just take a bed, just find a place to go. He'll just go. He'll just go out. By the time he returns home, we are not going to hear anything again. Okay, naturally, the matter ends. Do you understand? So take a break. I don't know whether they conclude it and discuss it over the night. I am not with them, so I cannot tell. Do you understand? But what I know is that we never heard it again. So that is the matter. So the conflict ended. So use I statement. Use I statement when expressing your feelings and concerns. Don't use statement like, okay, let me give you an example. For instance, now, when you are talking about the fact that you are angry or you are upset, say that I feel upset. All right, I feel upset when this thing happened. That's the best way to communicate. Don't say you are always upsetting me. Don't say you are always upsetting me or you are making me angry. Don't say that. All right, but say that I feel upset when things like this happen. I think it's better. That's the best way to communicate. But when you begin to say, you always make me feel like this, then you are accusing. It's more of accusation. And we don't like accusation. Human being doesn't like accusation. When you are begin to point accusing fingers on them and making them to appear to look bad, they are not willing to take that. Do you understand? So communicate in a neutral language. Refers to yourself. Just say that I get angry when things like this happen, or I get upset, I get annoyed when things like this happen. I hope I'm making sense and we are together. All right. Another thing I need to do is focus on the present. Forget about what has happened in the past. Deal with the issue that you are discussing now. Don't go and bring past issues into perspective. Don't go and bring past issue into discussion. The problem we have issues is that some of us want to go and bring, our wives. Now them sabi do that one. Our wives will just remind you of all the offenses and all the wrong you have done from day one as she met you to the day you are where you are today. They will remind you of all the offenses you have committed. Do you understand? Men may not always do that, but our wives or our ladies know how to do it very well. They are good at keeping those wrongs. It's as if they have a particular book in their head to keep those records. And when the time comes, they will remind you. So, but we are saying that when you are making effort to resolve problems, don't bring past issues into perspective. Just discuss the matter that is on the ground and settle it amicably. You understand? And then respect differences. Where there are different perspectives, different opinions, try as much as possible to respect those differences and those opinions. It's very, very important. Very, very important. All right? Then agree on solutions. Agree on what solution? Aim to reach a mutually acceptable solution that addresses the underlying issues and prevent the conflict from reoccurring. So it's very, very important. So reach agreement. And when you reach agreement, define implementation plan and monitor the implementation. Define action steps that you're going to take to make sure that the agreement is what implemented. All right. And when those action steps are defined, take steps. Be determined to take steps to make sure that those action steps are being fulfilled. It's very, very important. And then by so doing, you have shown commitment to resolve the conflict, and the conflict will be resolved for good. So let's look at mediation, because I'll be talking about mediation. So now it's time for us to understand what mediation is all about. So we'll be looking about mediation, negotiation, and dialogue techniques, right? So first and foremost, what is mediation? When we talk about mediation, what are we talking about? Mediation is a voluntary and confidential process in which a neutral third party, like I say, it could be an individual. When the conflict between the Ethiopia government and the Tigray was going on, Obasanjo flew from Nigeria to Ethiopia to go and intervene as an individual. Do you understand? Nobody sent him. He went there on a personal call as a former president of the country. He went there to see how he can bring the conflict between the Ethiopia government and the Tigray to a halt. Do you understand? Then we can go there as a representative of a regional organization like the ECOWAS, like the African Union, like the United Nations. That's where we have special envoys. They go there to mediate, intervene. You can go there as a country. You can go there as a private organization, non-profit organization, can also make efforts to intervene. All of this can constitute to be what? Third parties. Do you understand? So a third party known as a mediator helps parties in conflict to communicate effectively, understand each other's perspective, and work together to reach a mutually acceptable agreement. So your job as a mediator is not to go and enforce anything. Your own is just to go and facilitate. Help the parties to conflict find a path for what agreement. That's why you're going to help them. So that when they make statement, when they make comment, you are holding them by what they say. You are making emphasis. You are emphasizing the point they make. They say, okay, I say this. So you as a mediator, you have to reframe it or rephrase it. Where possible, you can reframe it so that it will meet the understanding of the other party. Do you understand? So what are the techniques you are going to use when it comes to mediation? One of the techniques you are going to use is neutral facilitation. Mediation generally is based on what? Trust. Mediation generally is based on what? Trust. So as a mediator, you must maintain neutrality. You must not show any interest whatsoever for anybody. That is, by the time you begin to take side or you make a comment that look like you are siding one party, you have destroyed the process and you cannot be able to resolve that conflict. That's why you must maintain neutrality. Very, very important. Let's look at another technique. Another technique that you need to use as a mediator is active listening. As a mediator, you listen actively to what all these parties to conflict are saying. Because if you are not listening and somebody says something you did not hear, you may not be able to. If there's a need for you to reframe, you cannot be able to reframe it. If you want to make emphasis, you'll not be able to make correct emphasis. You understand? So that's why you have to listen and listen attentively. Summarizing and clarifying. That is, the mediator summarizes key points of discussion to ensure mutual understanding and clarify any misconception or discrepancies. Where there are discrepancies, where there are misunderstanding of concept, you as a mediator, you clarify the issue, you summarize the point. You say this and this and this and this. Are we together? Is this what people have said? Do you understand? You ask this question so that they will agree in affirmative that yes, this is what they have said. Encouraging empathy. The mediator encourages parties to empathize with each perspective, feelings, and needs. That is, each other's perspective must be empathized. At least, I'm talking about something that concerns me. I'm talking about my interest. You are talking about your interest. I should show interest in your matter. You should also show interest in my matter. Do you understand? Okay, like for instance, let me give you one critical example. Yesterday we said that, okay, on the last day of this training, all the participants should share their name and what the email or their WhatsApp number. And then somebody make a suggestion. He came to my private chat, my DM, and he said that he feels that because of the scammers here and there, it's not nice enough for us to collect this kind of data online. Okay, we should either have the Google form to give people to fill at the end of the day so that we'll be able to have the record of those that participate in the training. And then I come to reason with him. I understand with him. Do you understand? Because we are operating in an environment whereby people are so desperate to harm people. Do you understand? So I come to reason with him based on his suggestion. So this is what we call empathy. Empathize with others. It doesn't matter. We say this is our guideline. Okay? This is our guideline. But when he made this suggestion, I come to understand with him. I empathize with his own position. And I consider it. Okay? So we're going to take another approach. So that's what it means, empathize. So as a mediator, you encourage what? Empathy between and among the parties involved in the conflict so that they can understand each other's perspective. Because, you know, human beings are selfish. So sometimes they will just be talking about themselves. All right, brainstorm solutions, reality testing. All right, the mediator helps parties assess the practicality and implication of proposed solutions, encouraging realistic expectation and outcomes. For instance, now let me give you what we're talking about here now. Maybe let me give you a critical example concerning couples who want to resolve a problem. Maybe the problem is that the husband used to keep late at night, and whenever he comes home drunk. Do you understand? And the wife don't like that, and they want to resolve this conflict. And so they propose solution. The husband says that he will stop keeping late at night. He will come home on time, and that he will stop drinking. All right, he will stop doing what? Drinking. This is the solution, and this is where the problem is, right? You come home late at night and at the same time drunk. So now, but now the husband is making commitment here that he is not going to drink again and he will not come back from outside late. Do you understand? This is the commitment that he made. This is an agreement they have reached. Now, how do you implement it as a mediator. You are going to test the practicality of this agreement, of this proposed solution. Is it possible for this man who has been drinking for the past 20 years or for the past 5 years to just stop drinking just like that? Is that how easy it is? Do you understand? So you will begin to test the practicality of that proposed solution. So now you begin to ask questions. How are you going to stop this thing? Do you understand? So you begin to, see the implication of that statement. Are you sure you'll be able to stop? Do you understand? So you try to make sure to find a way and cut the step that it's going to take to stop. Do you understand? So maybe he has to maybe disassociate with certain friends, and then maybe find a way not to control money, because anytime he sees money, he wants to take it to go and drink. So maybe when his money comes, you hand it over. Oh, they begin to see how they'll control their monies together, or things like that, so that the man will not have money to go and waste on beer. You understand? So things like that. So building consensus is very, very important. You must reach a point of agreement. And so as a mediator, work towards consensus by helping parties to find common ground, all right, overcome obstacles, and reach a mutually acceptable agreement. That's your job as a mediator, all right? This is what you're going to do. Help parties to find a common ground where they can reach agreement and then move forward. I hope you guys are following me, and I hope you are understanding me. So if that is the case, you let me know that yes, you are following, and then you can also ask your question, because I will respond to some questions tonight before we call it a day. All right? And then if you have not shared this live on your wall, just go ahead and share so that someone also can see that we are empowering people with skills here to be able to resolve conflicts and make our society a beautiful society for us to live and fulfill our destinies. So what is negotiation? We have talked about mediation. Let's look at negotiation as a tool to resolving conflicts. Negotiation, we say, is a process in which two or more parties with different interests or goals communicate with each other to reach a mutually acceptable agreement. All right? Now, let me give you one practical and simple example of mediation. I think all of us here do go to buy provisions, right? Maybe in our local backyard, you go to get some provisions, or you want to buy a toothpaste in a provision store just by your backyard, and you go there, and then they tell you this is 250 naira, and then you price it 150 naira. All right? What we are doing simply is negotiation. The two of you now have different interests. The person who is selling want to make profit. You, the buyer, want to buy it at a very beneficial rate so that you can enjoy it. Okay? So this is what it means. So you are negotiating already. We are into negotiation. So in negotiation, parties focus on the interest, goals, want, and their need. You understand? What is your need? You understand? What is your interest? And what is your want? Okay? So your interest and what you say you really want, and what is your need. You can compromise. In negotiation, you can compromise your interest. You can compromise what you say you want, but you cannot compromise your need. So once you get to the point whereby if the seller of the toothpaste say he want to sell that item for 200, if you like give him 199 naira, he will not sell it to you because his need has not been met. Do you understand? And maybe if you to your budget is not up to, you'll forget it. So in that way, people did not reach any point of agreement. Do you understand? So you walk away. It's right to walk away from negotiation. Once you cannot reach a desired result, you walk away from that negotiation. Do you understand? It's like that. All right. Some people maybe because of the conditions we give for participating in this training, some people had interest, but maybe there are certain conditions, or maybe certain time, the time we gave is not a correct time for them. They couldn't reach agreement with us, so they are not part of the training. Do you understand? So that's what it is. And maybe some people, the condition of being consistent in the training for the 5 days is a challenge. So they felt that, oh, I cannot continue. So we did not reach agreement. Do you understand? So that's what it means. So negotiation involves discussion, compromise, and bargaining to find a solution that satisfies the interest of all parties involved. All right. So it is common method used in businesses. So in business, you are doing business, buy and selling, trade. All of this, you see negotiation take place in those areas. Then diplomacy at the international level. Okay, negotiation takes place. Talk about law, it takes place. And everyday interpersonal interaction that we carry out, it has to do with negotiation. You are negotiating a meeting with somebody. Oh, just give me 2 minutes, I will be there with you. Oh, I cannot wait for 2 minutes. I'm in here, so I have another thing to do. You did not reach agreement. Do you understand? Oh, just give me 2 minutes, I will be there with you. No problem. I'll be waiting for you in the next 2 minutes. We have reached agreement. That's negotiation. As simple as that. At the course of interaction, we see these things happening. So, and this we can use it to resolve conflict, right? We can use negotiation to resolve conflict. Negotiation. So, negotiation techniques. What are the techniques we are going to use here? First and foremost, preparation and planning. That is the one that needs for you to prepare and plan. Just sit down and plan. Now, how do you plan? How do you prepare? It's very simple. You ask, if you are going, for instance, now assume you are going for an interview, for instance, which is part of, let's say, negotiation. Do you understand? Because you're going to negotiate for that position you apply for. You have to answer some certain questions, all right? So first and foremost, you ask the kind of question that the interviewer will be asking you, right? And then you respond based on the anticipated question, all right? So you always ask questions that the other party may be asking you. Okay, the parties you are coming into negotiation with, ask their question and provide answers, and then also prepare your own questions. Do you understand? So when you are going to negotiation table, the first thing you need to do as part of preparation is asking the questions of your opponent and then providing answers to those questions. By so doing, you'll be able to answer interview questions or whatever questions or whatever issue that confront you in the course of negotiation. Do you understand? Then we'll talk about active listening and questioning. So in negotiation, they expect you to listen actively. You know, I'm talking about listening and listening. So listening is very, very important. The problem is that we have people who are leaders, but they are not listeners. They're just leaders. So you are saying something, you never finish, the person knows everything that you want to say already. Wrong. Do you understand? So very, very wrong. And many of our leaders doesn't listen. They just lead us. Take final decision. Some of you, even parents, don't listen to your children. How can you do a thing like that? Does it mean that children don't have a right? They are human beings as well, they have rights. So give them the right, allow them to express themselves so that you understand what they are saying. That's why some of you, your child is being bullied in school, you don't know. He's trying to communicate with you, you don't know. Do you understand? Your child is expressing something, but you are not paying attention. So how will you know? So that's why we must listen and listen. Listen carefully. It doesn't matter the person you are talking to you is not of your class. It doesn't matter. It's not your mate. It doesn't matter. Whether you are older and this person is younger, it doesn't matter. Don't shout at people and silence them like that. At the end of the day, you will not be able to take a decision that will help anything. So listen and listen carefully. In negotiation, listen and listen carefully so that you can be able to arrive at the right solution for the conflict. And then we'll talk about building trust. In negotiation, you have to build trust, right? Make people to know that you are, whatever you are saying is, you are sincere. Well, for us, we are predominantly online. That does not mean that we are not physical. I'm talking to you now, I'm in our office here. Do you understand? In Abuja here. That's in the office I'm doing this meeting with you. So now, but we deal with people practically online. People who want to become members of the institute and all of that. So we interact with them online. So we try to be as transparent as possible. And we try to keep our words. We cannot tell you something now and then tell you something else. We try to maintain that, what we have said, the position we have said. And that has been the trust that people have come all the way. You know, let me tell you that people register for our program, we don't give them receipt. You understand? People pay for membership, they don't receive any receipt. Nobody has ever come out and said that, oh, this and this, because we try to build 100% trust. Do you understand? We are open, completely transparent. Do you understand? So that's what it means. What we cannot do, we cannot tell you. And what we are not, we can't claim it. That is it. So that's what it means. So trust is very, very important. Assuming I tell you that I am going to give you free training, I say 100% training. Then after the training now, I will say, you see, you need to pay for your certification. No? Do you understand? That trust has been destroyed because I say 100% free, the training is 100% free. And maybe after the training now, I'll say, oh, you have to pay for your certificate, or you have to pay for your manual. Do you understand? Then where is the 100% free now? Do you understand? So for us, it's 100% free. You are not paying anything so far as this training is concerned. At the end of the day, will process your certificate. This thing is going to cost us a lot of things to do this thing, but we're going to do it for you for free. For us, the joy is that you are here to receive the knowledge, and we are here. We believe that this knowledge you acquire here now will help to make our society better. That's our goal. That's our interest, and that's our commitment. Even at point of registration, this is one of our commitment, to educate the public. So that's our joy. This is our achievement, and we're happy about it. So do you understand? You have done us a lot good to even be in the meeting. So there's no need for us to come and ask you to pay for anything at the end of the training. It's 100% free. That is it. So another thing is creating value. In negotiation, create value. Look for opportunities to create value for both parties through creative problem solving and mutual gains. Let everybody win something. Let everybody gain something. Do you understand? Let everybody gain something. All right. Maybe the only price you are paying here now is your data, and then also you are also helping us. Maybe when you share, someone will see it and know that we are also in existence. That's what it means. So in a way, you too, you are contributing in one way or the other. Do you understand? As I'm adding value to you, you too, you are adding value to us by making us to go, people to see us that we are in existence. That's what it means. So create value in negotiation. Always create value. Let people see that, okay, you have their interest at heart as well. And then you see things with the negotiation will go very smoothly. Do you understand? You don't go and negotiate with somebody selling provision to a point that you want the person to sell you the item at no profit. So what is that how to do business? He's in the business to gain something. So negotiate in such a way that this person can also gain something. You too, you gain value in what you buy. That's how it should be. So making concession where possible. Let go certain things. All right, just let go certain things. Be flexible. Be flexible as much as possible. Somebody say we should not collect people's personal data like phones and email online. We should create a Google form. I understand. I let that item go. Okay, I let it go so that your identities and you have security to some extent. Do you understand? So that your number will not just be there, your email will be there. I understand it. So I let that item to go. Do you understand? It will take us a lot to create a Google form, but we can do it. He was proposing to create it, but we can create it on our own. We know how to do it. Do you understand? So we reach concession. That's what it means. So managing emotions. Keep emotions in check. Maintain professionalism. Don't be too provocative. Don't be too aggressive. Nobody should provocate you in negotiation. All right, some of us, somebody, you go to a taxi, you want to board a taxi to the next destination. The taxi man tells you it's 200 naira. For what? Olga, it's not a matter of like, for what? Then trek to the place where you want to go. Why should you come and be asking him? You're asking him how much, he tell you the price, and then you're asking him for what? Some of you will even go to say, are you mad? Are you a criminal? You were abusing somebody. Do you understand? No. Put your emotions in check. He tells you 200, sir. I have 100. Can you take 100? No, I cannot take 100. Okay, that's what I have. Thank you very much. Go your own way. I go my own way. You see, it's very simple. Do you understand? But some of us are so aggressive, we are so irritated, small thing will provoke us to anger. Do you understand? That's not how it's supposed to be. Then closing the deal. So once you reach the point of closing the deal, close the deal. This is how we agreed. So I have 100 naira. Can you assist me? Okay, no problem. Enter, let's go. You have closed the deal. Do you understand? As simple as that. That's what negotiation is. I'm giving you a critical example of negotiation. I'm using things that you do frequently. I'm not talking about when you go to a high international business meeting to negotiate. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that you do practically in your own backyard. Do you understand? On a daily basis. So what is dialogue? And this is the last topic we are going to take for today. So we're going to look at dialogue. What is dialogue? Dialogue refers to a structured communication process where conflicting parties engage in conversation to address their differences, express their views, and work towards finding mutually acceptable solution. Now, like for instance, now you have an issue with someone. I want to resolve the issue. Okay, what do? You come to the person, sir, this problem we have, I want us to resolve it. So you begin to discuss it. Why are you discussing it? So that you can have a deeper understanding of the issues in play. Do you understand? That's why you are dialoguing. That's why you're having a conversation. We say conversation. Do you understand? Have a conversation, have a discussion, so that you can reach an understanding. That's how it is. Reach an understanding. Know what is involved, so that you can be able to reach an understanding. It's as simple as that. So effective dialogue in conflict resolution focuses on active listening again, empathy, understanding different perspectives, and fostering constructive communication to reach a solution. So what are the techniques? Respectful communication. Respectful communication. Communicate in a respectful manner. Don't look down on anybody. Don't be so judgmental. All right? Show understanding where necessary, where empathy is needed. Show empathy. So I understand how you feel, but this is this and this is that. Do you understand? Maybe some of you works in some organizations like banks, for instance. Now somebody is so frustrated, but you lack the ability to calm the person down. During my NYSC, one woman was very, very angry with me. So very angry that she could not even listen to anybody. So I called her, and then thank God she was even willing to listen to me to come. So I sat her down and I began to explain the issue to her. I had limitations, okay? And she didn't know that I had limitations as I was just serving. I was today a youth corper serving in the bank. So I had limitations, but this is what she did not know. So I have to let her know my limitations. Do you understand? So, and by that, she had an understanding that, okay, this is the reason, and this is the reason why I couldn't do certain things. Do you understand? So we had an understanding. Sometimes people don't know what is involved. So that's why you must dialogue. Dialogue so that you know deeper what the problem is all about. Then active listening, and then seeking common ground. Find a common ground where you can reach, exploring differences. Look at different opportunities, look at different viewpoints, look at different experiences, and then reach agreement. Then we'll look at asking open-ended questions. Okay, asking open-ended questions, encouraging dialogue, deeper exploration by asking open-ended questions that invite thoughtful responses and promote reflection. All right, so you need to ask open-ended questions. Very important. So what do you think about this? Okay, so how do we go about it? Do you understand? These are the kind of questions. So what do we need to do so that someone can express and respond? So let's look at reflective dialogue. Reflective dialogue, reflect back what you have heard to demonstrate understanding, validate the other party's feelings, and clarify by misunderstanding. And then we'll talk about the last one is collaborative problem solving. Work together to identify shared challenges, generate creative solutions, and collaborate on implementing practical actions that you have defined. So this is the much we are going to cover for today. And then tomorrow we are going to look at restorative justice practices. Right? This is the first thing we're going to treat tomorrow. Restorative justice practices. And then we will now dive into other units of module 2 and then see how we'll be able to cover as much as possible before our 5 days elapse. So I'm going to into the comment section to check to see some of your questions as much as possible. So once I see a question that needs to respond, I will respond. But meanwhile, thank you for joining, and we appreciate your comment. We appreciate you for sharing some of the things that sharing it for others to also know what's going on. So I'm just trying to view your comment section now. Let's see how we can come across. If I come across anything that looks like a question, I will respond. All right. All right. Do we have any question? I'm checking, but I'm not seeing any question. All I'm seeing are comments. Yeah. It's a problem, yeah. So this thing disrupted, my network interrupted, but we are back now. So let me see if I can see any question. I'm still checking. Or if I cannot see, we'll call it a day. But I've seen your comment and I appreciate it. Some of you say, okay, question please. Somebody say a question here. Let me see if we can be able to. So the question is, question please. In the process of dialogue, where everything seems difficult, as in impossible, what must one do? Okay, this person, that is a question from Magaji Garba. Yeah, it's asking that in the process of dialogue, where everything seems difficult, as in impossible, what must one do? Well, there's nothing like impossibility. There's nothing like impossible. There is the only thing we need to do is just to shift our grounds and our stance. There's nowhere we see that something is impossible. But there are times that you want to dialogue and the environment is not conducive enough to dialogue, right? Emotions may be high, and there may not be friendliness, or there may be lack of trust. in that kind of situation, you don't even have to call for dialogue in the first place. You can deploy other means of resolving the conflict. It shouldn't be dialogue. All right. Let me give one example. When the NSAS was on, the government wanted to know the leaders of the NSAS protest. Nobody agreed to be a leader. Do you understand? They were calling for dialogue. Nobody agreed to come. Why is that they refused to show face? Why is that they agreed to identify that I am the leader of the group? Nobody. Do you understand? The reason was that they don't trust the system. If you agree that you are the one that's a leader, then you are going to, whatever, they will just go and arrest you. The next thing you find yourself in jail. You understand? So nobody agreed. So in that kind of situation, dialogue wasn't the solution. And that's why even when government doesn't know what to do, they have to use another means, which was force to disperse those people. Do you understand? That's the only thing they could do. And that will call negative peace. Do you understand? That was negative peace. All right. So dialogue, if environment is not conducive for dialogue, you use another tools to resolve the conflict. All right. So we have other ones that I have mentioned: mediation, negotiation. You can use anyone. You can just use mediation. Find a trusted third party to help you to resolve your conflict. So I hope, Magaji, I hope I have answered your question. Let me check if I can also see another one before we call it a day. I'm not seeing question. What I'm seeing mostly are comments. What I'm seeing mostly are comments. All right, so we thank you very much for taking time to be part of today's training. We'll see you on Thursday. We'll not be having this training tomorrow. We'll be having the training on Thursday. I will communicate in our WhatsApp group. I will send you the details. So by tomorrow, we are not going to have this meeting, but we'll have it on Thursday, the same time, 6:30 p.m. GMT +1. So by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll be having the training. So tomorrow, we are not going to have the training. Please take notes so that tomorrow you'll not be, although tomorrow we're having our peace clinic. Thank you for those of you that also join our peace clinic. Our peace clinic is also one of our free educational activities that we carry public, just educate people on certain topical issues relating to conflicts and peace. So if you are free, you can join and also follow up and then contribute to make the peace clinic also a useful tool for learning. So thank you very much and have a wonderful night rest. I am Joshua Tahule. Thank you and good night. Bye. See you on Thursday. Have a wonderful night rest. Okay, another question here. So I'm seeing a question. My question is what I've seen. Yajite who also is asking a question here. Let me respond to him before we can go. My question is, what strategies or methods can we use to prevent identity-based conflicts in our societies? Well, the strategies are very simple. Let's promote, like I said, let's promote love, peace, unity, justice, and oneness. It doesn't matter our color, it doesn't matter our language, it doesn't matter. We should look at other factors to project, not our identities. Let us not project our identities. Let's project love, peace, unity, justice. It doesn't matter where you come from. If somebody is wrong, tell the person is wrong, even if it's your tribal person. Okay, so these are the things we should be projecting and promoting, not our identities. But where we begin to promote our identities, that's where the problem is. So Yaji, I hope the question is also answered. Thank you very much. Somebody is asking here, Mr. Evans is asking, would you agree that exploring differences exposes our weaknesses? Our weaknesses, when we expose our weaknesses, it makes us better so that we know where we are vulnerable. Do you understand? That is not, there's no shame when your weakness is exposed. It's good as someone should know your weaknesses that can agree with you that you are a human. All right? So it's better for your weakness to be known so that you can receive help where necessary, so that you can receive empathy. That's why we say people should show empathy when trying to resolve conflicts. So if someone notices that you have a weakness that you should consider, the person will show you empathy. Do you understand? So this thing is very, very important. So don't hide anything. Be as transparent as possible. You build trust. Even your weaknesses may become your strength. Do you understand? Because someone may support you, someone may understand with you based on your weaknesses. Do you understand? Somebody, the last question I'm going to take, someone is asking, the last one I'm going to take. Question: in African leadership, how do we harmonize? How do harmonize distance between leadership? Okay, how do we harmonize distance between leaders and followers? Because we discovered that our system always swallow our leaders. It's a system that swallowed our leaders, so our leaders that swallowed the system. Well, it's bridging the gap between the leaders and the followers is a matter of education. Like we say, it's only an educated person that can hold a leader accountable. People who are not educated cannot hold the leaders accountable. That's why even a criminal is being clapped for. Somebody is coming, you know that this person is a criminal, but you are clapping for him. Okay, you are welcoming him, you are singing hallelujah for him. Instead of questioning certain things, you are clapping. But it's only an educated person that will not go and fight for any leader, go and carry arm to go and fight for a leader. Do you understand? So the only way we can bridge the gap is when we are able to educate our electorate, our leaders, our followers. Our followers are being manipulated. Well, it's only when you have an education that you can be able to withstand any form of manipulation. You can be able to ask critical questions. We told you here that one thing that education helps you to do is critical thinking. So if somebody come and tell you something here that is not genuine, you will ignore it based on your critical thinking abilities. You ask certain questions, and as a result, it's called that they're just trying to manipulate you. You understand? So education is very, very important. That's the only thing that can make our leaders come close to us, because if you don't have education, they continue to manipulate you, use you, and dump you. Always come and use you and dump you, come and give you peanuts, and you cannot question anything. So one of the key is still, on this education. So Moses Sata, I don't know whether you understand. So one way we can bridge the gap is educate our electorate, educate the people, let the people be educated. Do you understand? And in that way, they can be able to question and hold the leaders accountable where necessary. So thank you very much. Good night. We are ending it here. Bye.